Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice. Woo! So anyway, we're back. Well, Yanagi and Okazaki are walking us back home. Yay, two boyfriends. Anyway, and we're coming up to the point where we're probably going to get. What are you doing, bird? We're probably going to get our first bad. Well, not our. Obviously, the first bad ending of the game. First bad ending in Okazaki's route. So anyway, I see Yanagi and Okazaki off and headed back to my apartment. Near my house, I saw a silhouette. Oh, Kazuki. He's back early today. I felt relief as I went to talk to him. See you tomorrow at the studio. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I noticed that Kazuki was talking with someone. He dresses loudly. Is that Kazuki's friend? But I recognized him from somewhere. While I was thinking about that, both of them head off. What should I do? I missed my chance. Kazuki stays out often recently, and he also goes out late at night, too. If he's hanging out with the wrong people. Save. But we gotta scroll down. We'll scroll down here and save. Because this will be our. Haha. Okay, that's our. Okay, so we're supposed to follow Kazuki, but our bad ending. Hold on. Is follow the other guy. This gets our Adonis bad ending. Follow what's his face. I started to get worried and was already running before I could think. Akito better not kill us. I don't think it's good to follow him, but I was. But I was curious about Kazuki's friends, and my curiosity got the better of me. Concert club. The man went inside. Oh god, it's not Hana that's going to stab us, is it? Excuse me. I nervously called to stop him. I'm sorry for being so forward, but may I have a word with you? I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry. Oh, wait, how should I explain it? You've been following me for a pretty good while, haven't you? That's. I've always asked you people to stop that because it's annoying. Huh? Uh, you, you can't wait at the door or follow me around. Not just to me, but the other members too. I've never seen you before, but are you new? I'm happy that you become a fan, but please at least show some etiquette. No, it'll be troubling for the other fans. Goodbye. Oh, he shut the door on me, and now I don't know what I should do. I would have been like, no, I'm Kazuki's sister. Did he mistake me for a groupie for his band or something? When I look back at my own actions, I felt ashamed because of how pathetic my actions seemed. I'm just going to assume it's Hana.
Yeah, you're so annoying. Acting like that, and you're new too?
Huh? I suddenly hear a voice nearby. Ah, it is Hana. I miss you, Hana. You're the best psycho ever. When I turn around, I see a young girl.
You know, Hana hates your kind the most. You're the worst kind of pest.
She smiles without moving her face close to mine.
So anyway,
I felt a strange pressure and stepped backwards.
die for me, Kay?
Before I could say anything, my vision slowly turned red. I felt like she hit me with a blunt weapon. Man, that was fast. That was the last thing I ever felt.
Oh, what should I do now? Garbage people like you is what makes Hito get sad. If you're a fan of heroes, you should know that you weren't allowed to do that. Aw, you probably can't hear me anymore. If you make Hito sad, then you're disqualified as his fan. So you're disqualified from life, too. I did something good today.
Fucking love Hana. I fucking love Hana. I just fucking love her. She's like the goddamn best because she's literally motherfucking psycho. She's the best. That was great. That was worth it. Yes, now we're going to go back up and get a normal. Keep going down the normal path. Let me just scroll back up to the guide where I was. Okay, follow Kazuki. Follow Kazuki. If it feels like the timing's right, I should try and ask him. He'd tell me not to get involved or that it didn't concern me and try to change the subject. I sighed at the predictable outcome while I followed Kazuki inside. Oh. Mm. So who's this? I'm just going to talk with, I don't know. Zero, I wasn't told a thing about the incident that the agent carried out today. There should only have been one countdown in December. So why do this? To increase them? What do you mean? The agents move on your orders. I can't control them once they do. You're doing this despite knowing that. I really hope that this wouldn't be voiced when you have the voice acting on because you might recognize the voice. That's the only thing about the voice acting. I really hope when it's things like this when you don't know who's talking. Like when it's okay, it's a surprise and you know you're going to know who the character is in a second. It's one thing like, oh, when it was Enomoto speaking and oh, then it's like, oh, it's Enomoto's voice. But this you could recognize, you would know if it was a male or female, right, by the voice. Unless they're using unless they've got the voices disguised or something. But otherwise it'd be like, well, wait, this is so-and-so's voice. So we know that it's that, and that would ruin it. So I'm just curious. But anyway. The agents move on your orders. I can't control them once they do. But you're doing this despite knowing that. Her? Spacey Hoshino, the color experiment subject. Is she curious about July? You're taking quite the interest in her. No, never mind. Zero, our long-awaited goal is right before us. Don't distract yourself with trivialities. Even if we have chosen the wrong path, the oath we swore long ago is... Interesting. December 8th, 7 a.m. The next day, I was listening to the news on TV while making breakfast for Kazuki. Judgment of the stalker manslaughter incident in July, considered a next-day crime, is still mired in delays. Was it justified self-defense or not? And that point was still undetermined. No progress, huh? I turned off the gas stove and transferred the omelet to a plate. Kazuki, breakfast is ready. You should eat it before it gets cold. I waited for a while, but no answer came. With a sigh, I returned to the living room to get ready to go to work. When I get to the station, the first thing I should do is read more about the July incident in the database. I want to speak to detectives who were on the case at the time, but they might get suspicious if I approach them without a legitimate reason. Still, it's best to ask someone who was there. I walked, thinking about my next steps. I wasn't paying attention as I walked, and I bumped into someone. Okazaki. Oh. That hurt! Watch where you're going! I'm sorry. Well, aren't you a cutie? Why don't you spend some time with us? I'll pass. I'm on the way to work. Why don't you just call in sick? I just walked into a load of trouble. It might be quicker to show a police officer, but if they had some animosity toward the police, it would invite even further trouble. I'm in a hurry. When I just tried to push past the two insistent men, one of them grabbed my arm. You just bumped into us. You don't really seem like you're all that apologetic. Wow, douche weasel. What are we, in America? I didn't think, He raised his voice. Then, Okazaki to the rescue. Ow! The man let go of my arm with a genuine yelp of pain, unlike earlier. I don't like people who are violent against women. Most people don't like people who are violent against women, except for the assholes who are also violent against women. Then they don't care because, but it's just Okazaki? Okazaki had suddenly appeared from behind, twisting the man's arm. He's following us, and he's a bit of a stalker, but you know what? He saved us, so I'm okay with it. Maybe. He casually sent the man flying away with one hand. If we were gonna romance him, this would be like, this is nice because you're saving us, but also fucking awkward and weird. And why are the floor patterns not right? Why are they not right? They're not right. Okay, so this one's down here, right? And then this one's up here, and you got the little 4 pattern, right? And then this one's down lower. Then this one's up here, but then this... Why? Why is this pattern fucked up right here? Why? Hold on, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to skip the thing. He casually sent the man flying away with one hand. You punk! But that's the only one, because then the thing next to is Norm. That I can't. That bugs me, man. That bothers me. Okazaki dodged the punch from the side with ease and sent the second man hurtling into a wall with a kick. Asshole! He effortlessly threw the third man, who rushed at him from behind. His movements were so fluid, I thought I was watching a dance performance. You shouldn't inconvenience a lady. Okazaki gently scolded them without showing any sign of needing to catch his breath. Like, damn. Wah! Or is that wah? I don't know. The men scrambled away, each trying to outpace the other. Are you okay, Spacey? Okazaki turned to me with a look of genuine concern. Thank you very much. You saved me. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. But what are you doing here? It seemed I'd mischaracterized him. Rather than appearing and disappearing like a ghost, it was more like he was always around. Don't tell me he's like this with everyone. On the way to work. Yes? And turns out I have business there too, actually. Huh? What a coincidence. Yeah, he's following you. He's a bit of a stalker. I think I might be okay with it. I'm not sure. It seemed that I had been overly self-conscious. Why don't we go together? Saying that, he turned to me and offered me his hand for some reason. Why the hand? I just stared at it for a moment. Then Okazaki just grabbed my hand. Not Yanagi, Okazaki. Unless Yanagi just magically appeared. God damn it, Tim. Know the characters' names before you fuck it up, okay? Tim, more attention to detail. Jesus. It's dangerous for you. Let's walk holding hands. No thank you. It's not any safer this way. In response to me saying that, he simply grabbed my hand even more tightly and began tugging me as he walked. Okay, sweetie, you can't just force a girl to hold your hand. No means no, even if it's hand holding. Consent, buddy. But, oh, I was wondering, okay. I saw something, like, with a Sprite before, when in like the last part, and I was like, what is the purple thing? And I totally forgot, but now it's like, oh, it's his eye mask. That's fucking adorable. Ah, cute. Your hand's a little cold. Okazaki, he was acting like this was nothing, but he was unwilling to let go of my hand. Look at how adorable he is. Adorable creeper. It's already December. I'm fine in this weather, but Yoshinari is always whining about how he can't take the cold. I was sure that I was signaling my displeasure, but Okazaki ignored it and kept talking. He really was stubborn. He's going to force you to like him. Look at this hand. Is like totally like Barbie straight. Like, I'm just going to doot. No fingers bent, nothing. Isn't it a little hard to be a bodyguard while you're holding hands? This isn't for my job. I just wanted to hold your hand. I see. When he said it that assertively, I felt myself stupidly unwilling to resist for some reason. This will be embarrassing if someone sees this. You shouldn't space out too much while you walk. It's dangerous to bump into people. You could get into a fight again. Huh? If he had seen me walking while I was spaced out, so he was tailing me after all. Am I under surveillance? No, he just likes staring at you. Okazaki smiled in a comforting way. Maybe my doubts had shown on my face. I wasn't really following you. Don't worry, I just happened to see you. I'm sorry. It's okay. But if you'd allow it, I'd like to follow you and protect you 24/7. What? You seem like a serious sort, but you're careless, and that worries me. I appreciate the thought, but I must decline your offer. Knowing Okazaki, if I accepted, he'd seriously follow me around 24 hours a day. Then I'll call it quits for now. But if something like that happens again, I'll really consider round-the-clock protection. Okay, I'll be careful. I'll try not to show you any openings next time. That's kind of a pity, too. Okazaki smiled gently as always. I couldn't tell if he was joking or not. He's spooky and weird and awkwardly charming. Hmm. Somehow, I seem to allow him to do whatever he wants and let him dictate everything. We'd only met a few days ago, but it felt like every time we met, he was leading me around. He always approached me without hesitation. I'd fail to refuse, and then this would happen. Be careful around Okazaki. Don't let your guard down. Too late. I recall what Yanagi said. I know that I have to be cautious, but his palm was warm. So were some of his smiles and words. I didn't think they were coming from ill will. So you're like, why are you looking at me so suspiciously? Spacey? What's wrong? While I was mulling it over, I startled as he examined my face. I was so startled that I suddenly gripped his hand tightly. Hmm? When I did, he returned the grip, smiling all the while. Suddenly, I just felt even worse. Your hand... Hand? Do you do this to other people? That's what I want to say, but I don't know if that's right. Hold on. Isn't this inappropriate? Isn't this inappropriate for an SP officer? Huh? Oh, doesn't an SP officer need to have both hands free at all times? Yeah, you're right. But this will be fine. I'll know right away if there's a hostile threat. Oh, I see. I've heard you're good at detecting danger. If it's you, I feel like you'd protect your subject and be able to escape from the danger. I just blurted out whatever I could think of to hide my embarrassment, which just makes you more embarrassed. Suddenly, Okazaki's smile disappeared. But it was only for an instant. Yeah, I'll protect you no matter what. He whispered, his tone deeply gentle. That's my job, after all. His smile was the same as usual, but I had noticed something different for a moment. Something similar must have happened before. Hey, doesn't this calm you down? Huh? When I saw you looking really uncomfortable, I thought that holding hands like this might help you relax. When you hold hands, your fears go away a bit because you know you're not alone, right? To help me relax. I thought he was treating me like a child. Then I thought back to how I'd gotten mixed up with those thugs. Honestly, this isn't really relaxing at all, but it does help a bit. The warmth of his hand had indeed spread to my heart. Okazaki grinned in response. That's good. While I walked with Okazaki, I occasionally glanced at our hands. My embarrassment slowly eroded as I normalized this behavior, and it was replaced with relief. So he really was just worried about me. Obviously, I'd been a little scared when those men surrounded me. As a cop, it felt kind of lame, but I wasn't sure I could skillfully exit that situation. Now, though, I felt calm. It's thanks to Okazaki. Maybe he had noticed how I was feeling and reached out to me to help, while acting like it was for his own satisfaction. Maybe I've wronged him. Regardless of Okazaki's true intentions, it was true that he had protected me. Still, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that I was betraying the police. Was I still someone worth protecting? Maybe I've taken advantage of his kindness. Perhaps I had used his stubbornness as an excuse and ultimately failed to reject his advances because deep down, a part of me wanted to trust him. My God, are you already falling for him? It took longer with everybody else. When I was with him, I could relax just a little and not think about my collar, the ex-day crimes, and my precarious situation. I'm really not cautious enough, am I? I'm fine now. We were in sight of the police station now, so I broke free from his hand. My colleagues saw me now. I had no idea how they would react. A breeze whipped through my warmed hand, and the cool sensation now made me feel a tingle of loneliness. Okay, it's too bad, but there would be problems if people saw. Maybe he really was concerned for me. He was worried about appearances, so I guess he hadn't done it out of selfishness. It's hard to tell what this was thinking, but I sensed his actions stemmed from goodwill. Sorry for dragging you all this way. No, you were just worried. Thank you for holding my hand. I told you. I just wanted to hold your hand. Okazaki kindly smiled, still pretending to be obstinate, but he probably did just want to hold her hand. I returned his words with a slight smile and started across the street when it was green. Then, Suddenly, a commotion broke out around us. Seeing Okazaki reach for his holster, I also readied myself. I looked over and saw smoke. A fire. Hey, is that a fire? It's really close, isn't it? Hey, check your phone. There's a weird stream on that video site again. Oh no, something's burning. Is this an X-Day thing again? Spacey. Right. I quickly started to take out my phone, but I could hear a voice already playing on the bystanders' phones.
There are 23 days left until X-Day, the rebirth.
That was Monokuma. A countdown. Another X-Day crime might have already happened. I hurriedly searched for the video on my phone. It showed a fire burning in a familiar-looking park. I'll call it in. Oh, I always forget that I have to click the button when her phone pops up. Is that you, Hoshino? There's an X-Day video. Yes, I'm close to the place in the video now. Fire in the residential area near Shinjuku PD. I'm en route to the scene. All right, I'll relay that to Investigations HQ. I'll be there soon, too. Be careful. Yes, sir. I'm coming, too. Okazaki nodded firmly, and we set off. The fire had broken out in a park within the residential area. It had just started burning, so firefighters and police hadn't arrived yet. Instead, neighbors and bystanders were gathering around the park to watch. Police! It's dangerous, everyone! Please stay back! Okazaki and I raised our voices as we pushed our way through the crowd to the source of the fire. What looked like a human figure had been left in front of the restrooms. Wait! As soon as I tried to run over to the figure, Okazaki quickly pulled me back. He's like, stupid, you can't jump into a fire. But I'm fire retardant. It's dangerous to get any closer. But somebody's in there. The blaze is unnaturally strong. I can smell gasoline all over this place. It's been spread over a pretty wide area. We don't have to worry about an explosion, but it looks like bundles of paper have been scattered all around the area where the blaze started. There might be something else, possibly explosives hidden in the restrooms. The person in the middle of fire isn't moving. They might have lost consciousness from the carbon monoxide poisoning. We can't help them now. Okazaki was incredibly calm, and he coolly analyzed the situation. He was probably right, too. But what if it's possible that we could still save them? I frantically looked around for a fire extinguisher, but I couldn't see anything of the like, yet it's really rare that fire extinguishers are in parks. Pouring water on a gasoline fire was a bad idea, but maybe I could smother the fire. As I hesitated, the fire spread to a nearby tree and grew fiercer. We have to do something! We have to help! In my confusion, I tried to approach the fire again, but Okazaki's grip only grew stronger. God, don't be stupid. Stop being stupid. Let me go! There's nothing you can do right now. So is there something you can do? Okazaki, I'm sure you could save... There's nothing I can do for them either. We have other priorities right now. What other priorities? What could possibly be more important than saving that person? Saving all the fucking people watching? Spacey, calm down! This might have been the first time I'd ever heard Okazaki sound angry. I stiffened in surprise. Calm down. There are a lot of other people here right now. It's our duty to prioritize their safety. It's something you need to do now. It's something that only you can do. Prioritize the evacuation. This is what I can do now. After Okazaki helped me regain my composure, I assessed the situation around me. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I knew I could remember. I'm like, his voice was who did his voice again? Right, it's Finnis. So that's going to be funny. Like, when we watch the little things at the very end. Anyway. I realized I wouldn't be able to put out the fire by myself. The priority now is to evacuate the local residents to prevent secondary casualties. It hurt to turn away from what might be a dying person, but I couldn't lose sight of my duty. I'll lead the evacuation. Good. You'll be fine. I'm with you. My hands were still trembling, so Okazaki held them both tightly. You can see the situation. Let's do what we can right now, okay? Yeah. We each took a part of the crowd and led them out of the park. Do not approach the fire. It's dangerous here. Please evacuate. Get out of the park, everyone. Stay calm so that you don't trip. Then some of the cinders in the air landed near my feet. They looked like the papers around the victim, but I noticed they were fragments of a written note. The note was apparently written with a very shaky handwriting. I want to, I love you. I love you so much, I want to kill you. The scrap quickly burned to ashes. Huh. Charred paper. Ooh, interesting. Right, wasn't another stalker person? Chapter 2. Okay, hold on. Let's read our thing before we get into our... Boop. Nope. Okay. X-Day incident. Report. For July. It's not clicking. X-Day incident report. Report of the X-Day incidents. July 1st. A man who had been obsessively stalking a woman was killed by a passerby. The assailant was arrested at the scene, but circumstantial evidence and witness accounts suggested it was a justified act of self-defense. However, the assailant was arrested as a suspect for the May X-Day crime and is awaiting trial. He is currently being held in jail. After the incident, the Roman numeral... Oh, that's 6. Took me... Dude. I'm like, 4... No, 6. Yeah. Nah. And an Adonis coin were found at the victim's residence. For this reason, the assailant and the woman being stalked were suspected of having Adonis ties, but no evidence has been found to support this, so we'll probably find the woman in this route. The Rika chick, because she keeps being mentioned, and this will probably be the one that she shows up in. In early August, Adonis uploaded a statement which claimed this incident as part of the countdown. A man was arrested for defending himself. Don't you find this unreasonable? He was a hero who saved a woman. This woman had been plagued by her stalker for ages, but the police did nothing. We Adonis could not overlook this, so we passed judgment on the victim's behalf. Countdown to X-Day 6. Also, this month's countdown is 5. Soon our judgment shall fall again. This incident would be well known to the public. They would know the threat was amongst themselves. The plan proceeded to the next stage. People would focus on the threat and realize that everyday malice in this world is real. It was a threat to their own lives. It was believed the occasional tumult within our organization would pose no obstacle to the plan. The countdown to the revival would march on relentlessly. (12:08 at 1:28 p.m.) The afternoon after the park fire... the afternoon of the park fire, not after the park fire. Well, it's the afternoon after it, but it's the same day. That was confusing me. I was like thinking it's the afternoon the next day, but I'm like, it's the same day. It was the 8th when we made breakfast. Anyway. Wording. Yeah, it's still right. It just threw me off. It made me think the following day, but anyway. The afternoon after the park fire, I was at my desk answering nonstop phone calls. I will click it because Jesus. There were many Shinjuku residents who felt unsafe because of the repeated incidents, and the volume of calls had increased. I'm very sorry. The matter is currently under investigation. That said, little of the information coming into SRCPL was of any use, and most of it was not directly related to the incidents. People reported seeing ghosts at the scene, or thought the fire affected their phone reception. There's no helping it, considering the atmosphere these crimes have created. This morning, firefighters had shown up promptly to extinguish the blaze. The only damage was the trees near the fire's center, and there were no injuries. The victim at the heart of the fire had died, however. From what Mochida had overheard so far, the on-scene investigation had ruled out suicide. It was most likely a homicide. On-scene investigation? Crime scene investigators are usually done by permission or warrant, while freelance investigations put the suspect on the spot and are done without permission. Phew! When the incoming calls finally slowed down, I sighed and rubbed my eyes. I had got around collecting statements and reassuring the neighbors, so it was afternoon by the time I returned to the station. So it was an X-Day crime after all. The gruesome scene from this morning replayed itself in my head. I had watched someone burned to death, and there was nothing I could do about it. Well, they were probably already dead, to be honest. You just watched their body burn. I was struck by the cruelty that could rob someone of their life so easily. There was an announcement video, too. If they also find a coin, how could they do that 2 days in a row? If Okazaki hadn't been there, I would have really been entirely useless at the scene. If it had all been a shock to me, and I still hadn't fully recovered my composure. Oh god, my back hurts so bad. There was a commotion in the building. I immediately spotted the reason. Section Chief Morioka and Commissioner Minagishi from Investigations Section 1 were both here. And this police station was the headquarters for the X-Day investigation, so there were people from police headquarters posted here. However, SRCPO personnel didn't generally interact with the investigators unless they were invited to a meeting. So the office would be stirred up by the arrival of such highly ranked officers. What in the world is going on? Is Spacey Hoshino here? I couldn't believe my ears. He came in here and asked for me. By name. Has she done anything wrong? While I was panicking, Mochida quickly positioned himself behind my desk. I quickly stood up and straightened my posture, confused. Yes, sir. I'm Spacey Hoshino of the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office. I heard that you were near the crime scene this morning. Yes, sir. Well, we'd like to ask you some questions about that. Could you spare us a moment? I'm Masanobu Mochido, her superior. Would you mind if I accompanied you? Mochida came to my rescue as I was tongue-tied with anxiety. However, Morioka shook his head no after a moment's consideration. We'd like to speak to her one-on-one first. Come with us. Yes, sir. My throat had dried out, and that was the only response I could manage. They brought me to the X-Day investigation. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. They brought me to the X-Day Investigations headquarters. Everyone else seemed to be out. It was empty. The room felt very big to me when I entered, and I grew increasingly nervous, wringing my hands tightly. So about this morning, why were you there? Huh? I thought they were going to ask me about the fire itself, so I was caught off guard by the unexpected line of questioning. I just happened to be on the way to work. Heard you were with an SP officer. I ran into him on the way. Okazaki, the SP officer, said they also had business at Shinjuku Station today. By what circumstances would an SRCPO member like you be acquainted with the security police? Accidental? Huh? Circumstances? I just know him. How do you know him? I began to doubt myself under the rapid-fire barrage of questions. Look, Minagishi's like, I don't like the way you're questioning her. You're so adorable. If you're evil, I'm going to be sad, because you're adorable. Perhaps noticing that I had gone pale, Minagishi interrupted with a troubled expression. Morioka, lay off the Inquisition. At least give her an explanation for this. There was a Roman numeral 1 found painted on the wall of the park's restrooms earlier this morning. Analysis of the coin we recovered proves that this was another X-Day crime. The autopsy had found the victim's cause of death to be carbon monoxide poisoning. When I had found the body, the victim had already perished. Based on all this evidence, it's hard to imagine that she was involved directly. So there's no need for you to have to grill her. Look, you're terrifying her. They do suspect me after all, then. You're not under suspicion as a criminal. Just got a bad feeling about you. With that, Morioka leaned forward as if searching for something in my eyes. You know something about the X-Day crimes, don't you? Something we don't know. Feeling the cold collar against my skin, I instinctively went silent. When I did, Morioka sighed deeply and quietly continued. How did I say we pronounced his name again? I forgot it. I think it's IG. It's IG. I think that's what it was. I forgot. I looked it up because I was like, with all... Too many vowels gets me confused. Right, anyway. You know IG Yanagi? You're like, yes. He used to work for me. I know that you've been interacting with his team. Did he tell you? No. He's not the kind to let that information slip so easily. I just know shit, because I've seen some shit. Morioka bluntly remarked on his old coworker. We're getting intel about them. whether they like it or not. What does that mean? He's cute too. They're all cute. How did you come to know Yanagi? I met him on patrol. I had him show me ID just to be certain. I was curious, so I looked him up in the database and saw that he was a former officer. After talking for a bit, I learned that he was independently investigating the X-Day incidents. I'm just keeping an eye out as SRCPO so they don't get hurt. They're civilians now. I had no idea how well they'd fall for my bald-faced lie. To begin with, someone they knew to be as cautious as Yanagi wouldn't tell someone he'd only met a few times that he was investigating X-Day. Wait, okay. Morioka just stared into my eyes for a while, expressionless. I didn't know what he was thinking. You know that much, even though the cases aren't part of your job? Morioka didn't pursue the subject of Yanagi and changed the topic. Yes, thought it was necessary for the safety of the public that I be informed. Morioka and Minagishi shared a look after my plainly stated reply. You're made of sterner stuff than you look. Fine, enough about Yanagi. We'll overlook it. For now. On to the main topic. Oh, it wasn't even the main topic. I shifted in my chair, bracing myself for the big issue. The video for the crime that occurred on the 7th was only sent to this police station. We believe its release was limited because the criminals were afraid they'd be traced too fast. They appeared to have arrived at the same conclusions as Yanagi's team. But the video this morning was streamed to the public at about the same time that the crime was committed in broad daylight. Witness statements placed a suspicious female near the crime scene, but we haven't gotten any solid leads on that yet, and that's why we're doing this, because they think it was Rika, so probably was. 2 crimes had occurred in 2 days, but it looked like the investigation wasn't going as desired. Now that the countdown is reaching 0, they're behaving more erratically. Adonis is a terrorist group of many people, and we've concluded that the string of crimes so far have been committed by multiple individuals. The leaders of the organization may be starting to sacrifice their pawns. Yeah, they don't care if we catch their minions. In fact, they're daring us to arrest them. They must be confident that we couldn't hit the heart of their organization, even if we were to arrest the perpetrators. Maybe the group was confident that their peons wouldn't betray the organization. Or perhaps the low-level criminals didn't know anything about Adonis to begin with. I wondered which was the case. Did anything stand out to you at the fire today? It's all in my report. Tell us. It's fine if it's redundant. Understood. Gasoline had already been poured all over the scene when I'd arrived, and I couldn't approach the source of the fire. Bundles of paper were also scattered around the victim, and I found burning scraps of a very strange note. I told them all this as politely as possible. Considering the contents of that note, Rika Sugawara is indeed a suspect. Rika Sugawara. That was the name of the woman who had been stalked in the July incident. Why would her name come up now? Minagishi, she doesn't need to know that. Anyone working within this police station would have certainly been able to figure that out. Minagishi calmly continued. You know what? It's weird how trusting he is of us, so I want to be, like, suspicious of him. Like, he's just so trusting of us as someone who shouldn't be, and you're like, are you, like, involved in a data? And you're, like, testing us. You're like, I'm so proud of you testing us. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he's got the hots for us. I'm not sure. It could be either. Because the victim was burned to death, it'll take some time to identify the body. However, we believe that both assailant and victim have some connection to the July case. Why? Because of the video statement. Speaking of which, I hadn't watched the video yet. I had run straight to the scene of the crime and was busy filing a report ever since I got to the station, so I hadn't had the time. That's just a convenient excuse, though. The truth was, I'd been so shocked by what I saw that I didn't feel like watching the video. Pathetic for a police officer. You keep saying you're pathetic. I'm sorry to say I haven't seen the video yet. When I answered honestly, Minagishi didn't seem upset. He just nodded. Would you like to watch it now, then? He looks a little overjoyed at this. Would you like to watch it now? I worked really hard on it. I mean... Minagishi opened a laptop computer and turned it toward me.
acquisition of love can become a weapon. This is especially true of deluded love. Even though a woman is menaced by that weapon, the police tell her that there's no crime. Adonis will pound the gavel of judgment upon the one who drowned women in fear.
I mean, kind of good for them. I'm not opposed to this. Although, murdering someone and burning their body, that's kind of a bit much, but, you know. Do the ends justify the means? I don't really know. But at the same time, you're like, I mean, they have a point. They're just kind of executing it evilly. Like, really evilly. This is believed to be the statement Adonis issued for the stalker homicide. Yesterday's gun homicide is related to August. It all started with that online game. Based on the statement, it's sensible to conclude that this case is also connected to a past event. So you're saying that it's connected to the stalker incident back in July? Yeah, we can't help but suspect it. Oh, we can't help but suspect it. So yeah. The assailant in the July case was in detention. The woman who had been stalked by the victim, Rika Sugawara, was also suspected of being involved with Adonis and the ex-stay at the time. Is it true that Rika Sugawara was a victim of stalking? Yes, there's no doubt about that point. What if she's not related to Adonis but is actually completely a victim? Wouldn't arresting her be causing her immeasurable mental anguish? If she really is completely unrelated, I suppose it is. Oh, you didn't find any evidence connecting her to Adonis back then, right? As you said earlier, it's a known fact that Sugawara has been harassed by her stalker for a long time. For that reason, after the July homicide, we didn't dig too deeply during our interviews with her. The police had absolutely failed her by allowing her to be tortured for as long as we did. Even the noblest of person would have felt like she'd been wronged by the police. She was a victim and not a strong suspect, so the police hadn't felt the need to push her too hard in their interviews. And the assailant was in jail anyway. Even if she was taken in for incitement to murder, it'd be a difficult case without evidence. Incitement of murder, the crime of inciting others to commit the crime of murder. The one who committed the murder and the one who incited it would be subject to prosecution. We can't treat her that way this time. There's no reason to rule her out as a suspect. That ended the conversation for now, so I was dismissed and told to return to SRCPO. Still don't really know what they wanted with me. The perpetrator this time was connected to the X-Day incidents. We were inching closer and closer to the countdown hitting 0. I don't want to see something that awful again. I want to prevent all future incidents. If I was going to be successful at that, I knew that I had to learn a lot more about the past incidents. Let's check that shit out. Oh, charred paper. A piece of paper the protagonist discovered on December 8th at a crime scene with a fire. The only complete sentence still legible reads, I love you so much, I want to kill you, in shaky handwriting. It looks like it's repeating the same thing over because it's like, I love you, I love you so much that I could kill you. December 8th incident. A fire that occurred in the park of a residential district. The scene of the crime had gasoline splashed everywhere and killed one. The autopsy determined the cause of death to be carbon monoxide poisoning. Stacks of paper were scattered all around the body, and they'd all been burned to ash. Due to the crime announcement video and the coin found at the scene, this was declared an X-Day incident. Immediately after I returned to my desk, Mochita came over with a worried look. Was it okay? Did they hassle you? Wait, what exactly did you do anyway? I didn't do anything. They weren't mad at you? No, they just wanted to ask me about this morning. If that's all, then good. He's such a worrier. But it made me truly happy to know that there was someone who genuinely cared for me right here. Morioka and Minagishi seem to suspect people within the police force. Even I'm practically a spy since I'm wearing this collar. It did seem like they already had their doubts about me as well. But there were already people among the criminals with prior history and evidence to connect them. The thought gave me goosebumps. Was one of them nearby? What if the person who collared me is nearby? Oh, doesn't that make it seem like, what if the person who collared you is nearby? Why would you say that? Hey, Hoshino, what's wrong? Huh? You seem down. If they got too pushy, just let me know. I'll go and have a word with them for you. No, I'm fine, really. Mochita's worried face shook me out of my dark thoughts. Once I start doubting people, it'll never end. So I should just do what I can for now. Mochita, I actually have a favor to ask. Oh, anything. Tell me. If you have time today, there's somewhere I'd like you to go with me. Hmm? He's like, whoa, it's a crime scene. Oh, okay. The stalker manslaughter incident had happened in July. The name of the deceased victim was Hiroto Shimizu? 29 time of death. Okay. He had obsessively been stalking a woman for a while. The woman who had been the target of his stalking was Rika Sugawara. At the time of the incident, Shimizu had planned to commit a murder-suicide in public and rushed Sugawara with an edged weapon. A passerby pushed Sugawara out of the way to protect her and then stabbed Shimizu to death in a scuffle. The intervening passerby arrested at the scene was Tomoki Ogata. He was currently in detention. Okay, so let's read that. Okay. Boop. Okay. Victim, Hiroto Shimizu, age 29, unemployed. Victim was a known stalker who had targeted this woman repeatedly, and on the day of the incident, he had menaced her with a knife. It appears that he was planning a murder-suicide. Assailant, Tomoki Okata, age 34, employed. He was a passerby that happened to be at the scene of the crime and intervened when he saw Shimizu attacking a woman. After a scuffle, he ended up killing Shimizu. The assailant insists that it was self-defense. He is tied to the May X-Day incident, so he's now a suspect. The woman that was attacked by Shimizu is Rika Sugawara, age 25, employed. She had been in contact with the police for years due to constantly being stalked. And as we know, blah, blah, blah. Why do people keep fucking calling me? It's like a fucking Monday night. The hell are all these fucking random goddamn calls? I'm sorry, my phone is like ringing. Like, it's ignore, go away. Fuck are these people? I don't even know you. I don't even know you. Why are you calling me? It's like all of a sudden my phone's just like fucking going ballistic. It's like, Jesus. Anyway, on the surface, it appeared to be a simple case, and it wasn't even initially classified as an X-Day crime at the time. Even when an Adonis coin was discovered while searching Shimizu's home, the police opinion on the case hadn't changed. However, Adonis then uploaded a video statement referencing the killing in the following month. Ogata had been temporarily detained. A man was arrested for defending himself. Don't you find this unreasonable? This woman had been plagued by her stalker for ages, but the police did nothing. We, Adonis, could not overlook this, so we passed judgment on the victim's behalf. Countdown to X-Day 6. Also, this month's countdown is 5. Soon our judgment shall fall again. Due to this video, the homicide was now treated as part of the string of X-Day crimes. Oh, my neck hurts so bad. The assailant was arrested. He insisted upon his innocence and that he acted in self-defense, but the case's motive and larger scope were unknown. I'll ask Sakuragawa for more details on the case from back then. This is Rika Sugawara's home. Thank you. Good for you, Hoshino. You were so worried about the stalking victim that you wanted to check on her mental health. That's the job of the local office to begin with. That's true. Ha! I'm just impressed. I hadn't lied to Mochita. Sugawara hadn't been able to rely on the police to protect her from her stalker. She had deep psychological wounds. To top it off, she'd been suspected as a murderer and subject to vicious slander by the media, although the possibility of some of it being true hadn't been ruled out. If Investigations HQ suspects her, they'll come looking for her soon enough. It could just exacerbate the damage that had already been done to her psyche. Whether or not Sugawara was related to X-Day, I was personally worried about her state of mind. She's a fucking nutter butters and she murdered a man, so. Mochita, would you mind waiting here? Yeah, I understand. Call me right away if anything happens. Due to her circumstances, Sugawara might not respond well to men. Mochita stayed in the hallway, and I pushed the intercom in front of her door. Who is it? I'm Officer Spacey Hoshino from the local office of the Shinjuku police station. There was silence. I've told you everything there is to know. Please leave. An icy voice came back over the speaker. Please wait a moment. I'm not here because of the investigation. I just came to make sure you're safe. Have you noticed anything unusual lately? You're checking on me? After all this time? After writing me off as having a persecution complex or being overly sensitive every time I complained? Now I'm under suspicion because of yesterday, and you're claiming you want to see if I'm all right? That's not true at all, is it? I was at a loss at how to respond to that. She appeared to still be deeply mistrustful of the police. The police had been sloppy in their handling of the stalker, but it seemed they had been equally bad in their treatment of the victim. Oh my god, what the fuck? Why are these fucking calls constantly coming in? Fucking stop calling me, Jesus! What is the deal? All of us in the police are responsible for the way you feel now. I'm deeply sorry for what happened to you. But we don't want to repeat that same mistake. It's true some suspect you for yesterday's fire. Would you mind speaking to me to clear that up? Again, there was a silence. I nervously waited for Sugawara's reply. You're by yourself. There's no man out there. My partner's here, but he'll wait outside. A short while after I said that, the door quietly opened. Hello, I'm Rika Sugawara. In contrast to her fearful tone over the intercom, I was slightly surprised to see her so calm. Yeah, because she's a fucking murderer. I had thought that I might not be able to talk to her due to her mistrust and fear of the police, so this was a bit unexpected. I'm Spacey Hoshino from the SRCPO. I reintroduced myself and bowed. We apologize for still being unable to solve the case and for making you feel unsafe. On behalf of the police, I deeply apologize for the pain that was caused to you and our failure to prevent it. There's no excuse for the way you were treated. Look, enough of that. It was an expressionless voice. I looked up. This is way too late. My life has already been ruined, utterly destroyed. In contrast to her words, she smiled thinly, but her eyes were not laughing at all. But I've finally been reborn. I can finally live a new life. So just keep out of my way. Reborn? I didn't understand. But she was acting neither scared nor angry, and the way she spoke with a casual smile told me that she clearly didn't want my help. Looks like I won't get through to her. Asking for her trust after all this time was probably impossible. When I said nothing, at a loss, Sugawara's smile disappeared and her face grew more serious. Do you have anyone you love? Huh? Confused by the non sequitur, I tilted my head. You mean someone I like? Yeah. She probably meant to ask if I had a love interest. I love my parents and Kazuki. They were irreplaceable to me. But as for anyone else, I couldn't say that there was. No, not really. My eyes widened at her sudden laughter. She seemed to find that oddly hilarious. After laughing for a while, she sighed and gave me a look. How sad. You still don't know love. I have someone I love. We just met recently, so now I know the feeling. What it's like to love someone so badly that you'd kill for him. Sugawara's joyous expression bordered on madness, and it sent a chill down my spine. That person saved me. He put an end to those days where I just cried and hid all the time. Before, I had no idea what drove that Shimizu to try and kill me and himself. But now I know. Dying together with my beloved would be the greatest joy there is. Her words made me flash back to a certain image. I love you so badly, I want to kill you. That was the phrase on the burning note. Sugawara's words matched it. I'm grateful to Shimizu now. He taught me the true meaning of love. I was speechless and I looked away from Sugawara, who was now smiling ecstatically. I didn't understand what she was saying, but I could tell that her experience with the stalker had twisted her mind. She had been broken by having that extreme form of love forced on her, and now she had directed that twisted affection towards someone else. What should I say to her? Run? I couldn't come up with anything to say, so I quietly smiled, as if to agree with her. If you knew true love, we might be able to have a real conversation. Don't bother investigating this case. Soon, everything will be reborn. Huh? Wait, what's that supposed to... My words were interrupted by the slamming of the door, and she didn't hear them. Girl, you should be like suspicious. When we returned to the police station, Mochita came to check on me with a worried look. You've been looking sick ever since you talked with Rika Sugawara. What's wrong? What happened back there? Oh, nothing in particular, really. I think I'm just a little tired. I'd only told him that she didn't trust the police. As for her beloved, I was still unsure if that was directly related to the case. I withheld that out of respect for her privacy. No, Spacey, you're stupid. You should take a break. Take a half-hour nap. What? I wish I could take a nap when I was tired. Thank you, sir. I gratefully accepted Mochita's kindness. After parting ways with him, I headed for the forensics department. I was going to talk with Sakuragawa. As I walked, I thought about what Sugawara had said. It was as if she was basically admitting to be an X-Day perpetrator, the person she loves. Tomoki Ogata, the one arrested in July, had ended up saving Sugawara. If this had been deliberate, then it meant that Ogata wasn't simply a bystander. Which means, was Ogata the savior that Sugawara fell in love with? I have to look deeper into the events of July. I quickened my pace. I don't remember if that came out that she was in love, because she never showed up in the other one, so.
So, what do you want to talk about? I'm busy, so make it quick.
Despite her sarcastic tone, Sakuragawa rushed over to me as soon as she saw me. She really was a good person. Have you learned anything new about the arson murder this morning? Have you figured out the victim's identity?
The body was damaged really badly, so not yet.
She denied my inquiry bluntly, but I kept pushing. The entire department believes that this event is connected to July, based on the video statement, right? In order to connect the cases, I need as much information on the July homicide as possible. Can you fill me in? Sakuragawa looked at me exasperatedly and then leaned in while checking our surroundings.
Investigations is watching you.
I know, they've already called me in once.
For real? Are you okay?
I realize that I have to be more careful now. Sakuragawa looked increasingly amazed, but then she suddenly grinned.
Yeah, it'd be an issue for me if you weren't.
Sorry to ask so suddenly, but can I see the old files?
I can only give you the CSI memos, the evidence list, and the autopsy results. Is that enough?
Certainly. When I nodded, Sakuragawa brought me a stack of files from a shelf deeper in the room.
You'll have to read them here. They can't leave this area.
Thank you. All right, I have to give this a thorough read. Hopefully I can notice if anything's off. For a while, I engrossed myself in the files. That case was a little unnatural. I turned around in surprise at the voice. I'm gonna guess Okazaki? Yep, okay. At first, I thought it would be Suraishi, just because, he's Creeper and he just magically appears. But he hasn't been in this path yet, and then I was like, well, Okazaki also magically appears, and it's his path, so. Hi, Spacey! Hello. Wait, why are you here? I had business at the police station, and I saw you coming in here. So I followed you and ended up here. Ended up here. He had mentioned that he had something to do here this morning. I heard that the SP were secretly coordinating with local jurisdiction. Maybe he was meeting with the security division. While I pondered that, Sakuragawa lightly clapped me on the shoulder.
You even know the SP? What's your relationship?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? I wonder if I can reveal that I know Yanagi and his team. Well, Sakuragawa already knows that because she knows you know Sasazuka, so I would assume she'd know. Well, I mean, okay. I don't know, right? She just knows that we know Sasazuka and we're helping him, but she doesn't know about everybody else. I figured she knew everybody else. I don't know. Our relationship, huh? Hey, Spacey, should we keep it a secret? What? Why is he asking me? Also, the way he said that is like, should we keep it a secret? She's like, oh, you're dating. What? No. You look like you're too embarrassed to say. That's why it's a secret, right? Oh? Hey, Okazaki, don't say it like that. Will they? It's all right. It's right, though. Will they? It's right, though. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I couldn't think of any way to accurately describe my relation to him. Casual acquaintance? Watching me panic, Sakuragawa grinned. Well, aren't you a smooth operator? Looks like you're a girl after all. Like I said, we're specifically not like that. This is headed in the wrong direction. So I'll put these away if you're done with them. Wait! I grabbed the files as Sakuragawa started to leave with them. Are those the files on July? Yes. Instead of berating me, Okazaki now looked curious. Can I see them too? Eh? As an SP officer, Okazaki, like myself, wouldn't have authority to investigate the case. I looked to Sakuragawa for a response. It's none of my business! She returned to her own work. I think she was enjoying this. I suppose that reaction meant that he also had her permission to see them. Looks like she's okay with it. Let me see. I don't know. Okay. With a tinge of uncertainty, I turned the page. And this is where we're going to go through, like, we're going to go through the crime stuff, but we're already kind of at time. So it's a weird place to stop, but we're transitioning into reading about the crime. So I'm going to wrap it up here, even though it's a weird spot, and I will see you guys next time. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.